my biggest, like, I guess you could say logo or slogan in life is like never underestimate the power of planting a seed. So it's like in my head.
Crazy. This is what the pastor was talking about today.
Yeah. So I'm really like, I don't need to necessarily change your life, but if something in me like makes you think or provoke something in your mind, I kind of already planted a seed there. Now, whether it gets watered or not, obviously that's a path that you take, but it's there. And if it bothers you or like it just like it's there and you can't forget it, it's like, okay, God's going to do the rest. I don't have to do anything else on that. So I have a thing on my social media where I do like usually once a week Thursdays. I have been a little off on it. But
those were good.
Usually Thursdays I'll do like a let's be real, and I'll ask a little bit more of deep like in thought-provoking questions to get people's response. But then I also share whatever they say. Of course, nobody can see who it is, but then I'll reply to it. You know what I mean? Because in my head, you know, we can always talk about the superficial things, but I think, and especially in this generation, it's kind of hard to get people who actually want to talk about things that need to be discussed. You know, it's like people just brush things off or they just don't want to cope with it, however. But you can't really live life like that, because then when you're older, you're coping with things from when you were like, I don't know, younger or something, you know?
Ooh.
I don't know.
All right. You're saying too much right now. We got to get into the podcast.
No. We're going in. We're going in right now. That was really good.
All right.
Like you said that the coping mechanism. So essentially saying like habits from when you were a kid can still be there when you're older. And that's crazy, because now that I'm 25, they say that, when you're 25, your brain is like solidified or something like that.
Right,
like
it's
after I had a life change experience after 25.
Yo, you really changed after you hit 25. You're like,
I can't be the same person I was yesterday.
Yeah, no. That, and I think that hits, I think at some point when either one or multiple things happen in your life. Because like me personally too, like if y'all would have met me like 5 years ago, I would definitely not be who I am right now, like at all. I used to be like really, really angry, like to the point where it's like I'm like waking up and I'm in a bad mood. And like that was like my mom could ask me a simple question as what I want for breakfast. Why are you asking me? And I'd be like mad. And it's like, yo, it's bright and early. Yeah, and it's like, it's bright and early. Like, what's up? You know, and granted, I knew what it was that I was dealing with, but I took anger as like just an easier way than to actually like face what I had to face, you know, so to speak. And so it wasn't until actually like one specific day that I just kind of woke up and I was like, no, Sarah, like, you can't be like this. Like this, it's a heavy weight to not face things, but to also try to face them with anger. Like anger is like probably one of the strongest emotions, but it's also so like, it's just so toxic for yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like you carry that and it's like you move different. The energy's so thick wherever you go. And then you realize and you're the one bringing the energy to the table. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. And then I kind of was just like, no, you got to change. And it was like more so me changing for myself than me changing for other people. Because it's really like to a point where when you get in life, somebody could want you to change. Like hey, listen, I love you, you know, like you got to change because like you're doing this, you're moving differently. Like, you know, we don't like this, or we're seeing some things in you. And you could hear all that from anybody you want, but not until you actually make the decision for yourself. Like, yeah, I have to change. Then it's like, okay, now you're going to apply what needs to be applied. Because if not, it's like, no, like, you know, you could get it from every direction, but it's like not until you want it. Like you have to want it bad to actually start changing.
Yeah, you got to take responsibility for your own life. Nobody else can.
Because no one's coming to save you at the end of the day.
Yeah. So
there's no cop out.
Yeah, definitely not.
You can try to cop out, but it's not.
Yeah. So I mean, that was that. But yeah, now I'm just like super goofy. Like I'm always like, if ever I'm not like this, that's how people know. Like I have a strong energy. So if I'm not like talkative or people automatically, hey, Sarah, are you okay? Like, what's up? Because I'm not, you know what I mean? Because I'm not like usually like that, you know, in a bad mood or anything like that.
So if you go into a room, hey, yo, what's up, Sarah? What's going on?
Everybody, what's up, dog? How we been, man? We haven't seen each other. Everybody's my dog. Like literally, if you talk to my close friends, I'm like, hey, that's stupid. So no, I'm so serious. You talk to anybody, I'd be, oh, that's my dog. That's my dog. I could have met them twice, and somehow I've escalated them to being my dog. But like that's just, I can make my way around. Like I could be comfortable in any setting you put me in. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm always intrigued by people. Like, why are people the way that they are? Like, what made them that way? So I'm like, let's talk about it.
So why are serial killers serial killers.
Why did Jeffrey Dahmer kill?
I can't watch that. I can't watch that.
I've seen a little bit of it.
I want to.
I'm watching a little bit of it though.
Right, so like I graduated with criminal justice. So like I always had a dream I want to be in the FBI, you know, like I was like, man, Tomb Raider, man, Angelina Jolie, Tomb Raider was like one of my favorites. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be me, like everything, right? But then so I took a lot of classes with like criminals. We had to learn about serial killers, everything. And yeah, when the Dahmer, that series came out, I mean, it's gotten really big, obviously, but yeah, no, it's a lot. Like I hear like it really messes with people. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm on a stage where I want to be messed with right now.
You know what's funny? At the end of the day, at the end of the whole thing, he asked for a Bible and he gave his life to Christ before, and he got baptized. Yeah, before. Yeah, for real.
No
so like,
way, nah, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't tell if
I'm so serious.
After eating people.
I believe Caleb, but I don't know if I could believe the guy. You know, like that's crazy.
Right.
I mean,
like in the series, they show that?
You don't know the power. Well, I haven't finished watching the series, but I went reading on him before I watched it, and at the end of the whole thing, before he died, because he got killed in prison, but before he asked for a Bible, started reading, accepted Christ, and I think he got baptized too, and then he got killed.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy, man.
I mean, the power of God, like God can save anybody. There's no one like.
Absolutely. That's a crazy point that you bring up, because it kind of starts to make you question, like, man, like, you know, we know that, we read that in the Bible all the time, like, you know, anybody who comes to Christ, you know, but in my head it's like, when you hear stories about these type of criminals, like, and like,
why did they get to
how, like, you know what I'm saying? You start to question, but it's also not your it's not your judgment, you know, it's not your place to always question that kind of stuff, you know. But it's also just hard to grasp. So
there's a Christian page, a guy, he breaks down everything that happens in the world, and he was breaking that the Jeffrey Dahmer case, how a bunch of Christians, they're like, nah, there's no way he can go to heaven. But the guy was saying, the Christian post, he was like, yes, there is, because he was explaining so many examples of people in the Bible, like Paul, you know, he was killing all these Christians. You never know what like God can do. So like, if they can get saved, that's when God definitely loves you, because we're no better, because we sin every day, we lie. He just happened to kill people.
I think you said a bad word earlier today already.
He just happened to kill people. He just wait.
You didn't catch what I just told him?
He's
like, we sin every day, you know, like we lie, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you just said a bad word earlier today.
I don't know what you're talking about, but anyways, I don't remember what I said. Nothing happens. He made the decision to kill people.
Happened to kill.
Literally, and then eat them too, man. He was like a cannibal.
Yeah, he was eating them too.
Yeah. So,
cannibal.
Yeah, cannibalism.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he ate people.
Yeah.
Like their dead bodies and organs.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the man cooked them. I think like, you know, but I don't think. But I mean, not that makes it better, but like.
Sorry.
He had to step out for a second.
I did some praying and now I'm.
Wait, actually,
I had to come back.
actually, let's do pray before we start.
We should pray. So who's gonna lead us? You got me.
Father God, in the name of Jesus, thank you for bringing us together. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
You heard that? You took the hat off. You took the hat off, and
I take my hat off before I pray, because I respect God.
Yeah. Come as you are, though. You know.
Yes.
Come as you are.
But I still respect.
So if you're a cannibal, you know, and you serial killer, come as you are, man.
That's the lesson we're given today.
And it's one of them.
You heard it from Winning Life right here, guys. Oh man.
Okay.
So questions. Yeah.
Actually, I might as well do
introductions.
Yeah. So for the people who don't know who you. Well, first of all, guys, welcome to Winning in Life. And today we have a special guest. First of all, I'm King Caleb, and I got my co-host.
I'm Nashawn.
And we got a special guest today. And
what's your age? What's your name, Sarah?
Yeah, you said it.
And what's your
relationship status
and profession?
Okay. So you know my name already, as I mentioned before. Age, I'm 26. My profession, I actually work at a law firm.
Nice.
I write demands. Yeah, okay. I write demands at a personal injury law firm. And my relationship status, I'm single. You know, single.
Are you
Am I dating?
looking to mingle, or you dating around, or?
Yeah, you know, I've learned in past relationships the power of taking your hand off of searching always, you know. Now that doesn't mean I'm like blocked or anything like that, but like.
So you're attracting.
I'm like, I think, yeah, like it's more so I'm gonna let it come when it needs to come versus me seeking someone consistently. I'm gonna put myself out there, you know, like I know I'm beautiful and everything, but no, I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding, but listen, I just like to see how men, like when a girl like, you know, hypes himself up, like how they react, you know, and both of y'all was just like real quiet on that, but he was checking himself out as this thing started, so it's a thing. But anyways, so like I said, single and just, you know, letting God put whoever he needs to put in my life.
Amen.
And that's pretty much it.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
no, I can attest to that. Like, yeah, sometimes when you just take your hand off of the thing, it just kind of comes to you when you least expect it.
Exactly. And that's usually when it's like really good.
Yeah. That's why we want to get into. We might as well get into it. Personal growth, because you work on yourself. You attract
consistently.
Everything
in. Yeah.
So, obviously, I've known you from the internet. And
what a way to start. Dang, that sounds so bad.
I mean, I technically knew Caleb from the internet.
We met on Twitter.
Oh, really? Not at school? Because y'all went to the same...
we went to the same high school, but we didn't talk. We went to college. I mean, PSSC together, but we waved.
I think,
We just waved.
At least y'all had some appreciation. Yeah.
And then, but because we were both in personal growth, he was always tweeting positive things. I was always tweeting positive things.
Oh, we would like and retweet each other's stuff all the time.
That's how you know it's real friendship, when y'all like and retweet. It's not just a retweet. You got to hit the heart, too.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even
that's
know
a deeper
this guy.
level.
I didn't even know him. Then I saw him at Sims Club. Hey, you know.
Yeah.
He said, yo, let me get your number.
You said,
man, when you stop bothering me.
You're King Caleb.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Heavy bromance. Heavy bromance. So who asked who out first? Like, what?
You asked me. I was like, all right. You did. You did.
Did anybody leave?
Yeah, you did, bro. And then you would stop texting me every day. I'm like, damn, this is
every day.
He capping. Okay, it's definitely the other way around.
Did you leave him on red?
My number. Well, I had an Android first, so I couldn't even seen.
Oh, dang, yeah.
And then
we don't do it, yeah.
And
you still got an Android? No.
Oh, heck no.
Absolutely not.
And then I got an iPhone. He was actually the first person at FaceTime.
Look at that.
He was like, why is he FaceTiming me?
That's that FaceTime.
He was like looking at his like, yo, hello?
Are you there? He just wanted to make sure you're there. You know, you didn't give him some bogus like number, some relationship. They do, people do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. That's good. I'm glad y'all, have grown. So that was what? How long have you guys been friends now?
That was 4 years
2018
ago.
To 2018, yeah.
Okay.
So that was like 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
5 years next April.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What were you saying before?
Yes. So I was like, I always see your positivity, which is one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on the podcast. So I'm like, okay, this girl is cool, and I love having positive people. I have positive people all around me.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the personal growth, and why are you so positive? You do have a cool energy. You do like to roast people. She's actually really cool. Energetic, cool.
I'm quick with it, guys.
She's quick with it. I roast a lot, but go ahead.
Sometimes I can hit those jabs that are a little too low that it's like, damn.
I know. I've been feeling it. I say, yo.
Because
we just met, so yeah, no.
Because
but it's okay.
Yeah. Because I was like, dang, I roast a lot of people, especially girls. I'd be roasting a lot of girls.
The last girl that we brought on, we literally roasted her for like 2 hours. It was amazing.
And she took it okay? Like she was alright?
Yeah. Because we also said like,
this is a joke.
He was actually saying positive stuff about her. I was straight roasting her.
I was like, she was energy. No, she had great energy.
Her vibes are great. Energy.
Okay,
yeah, she was great. But yeah, we were just roasting the crap out of her, man. And I was like, yo.
Look how the tables have turned, huh? Jesus placed me in this exact moment so I could change it to you guys now. Because y'all didn't give it enough to everybody. God. Yeah, you see? Now I had to turn that way. Right? Yeah, I appreciate it. No, but, okay. Yeah, so heavy on more positive energy, positive vibes and everything. I think I was kind of like, I was always like that, so to speak. I grew up in church. My dad's a pastor. My grandpa was a pastor. So being around, we could say church people, so to speak, like, you know what I mean? Now, I didn't grow up like in a household where it was like, you have a bedtime, you have to be in the house at, like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have like, my parents were never like strict like that, so to speak.
Wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't like that. I could say firmly, like, it wasn't like I wasn't allowed to watch certain things on TV. Like, that wasn't necessarily like my upbringing.
Pokemon, you could watch Pokemon.
Oh man, I grew up on Digimon. You guys remember Digimon?
I don't remember that.
My brother likes Digimon.
Yeah, Digimon was
Halloween.
Like scary
Halloween?
movies?
Did you celebrate Halloween?
I didn't really.
Okay,
no,
so you didn't do Halloween.
We don't do that. We didn't do Halloween.
You didn't do Halloween either, right?
Oh, he said times have changed. He did. You did?
No. I'm just being dramatic.
He was about to have his heart broken. Your whole friendship has been a lie this whole time. Like, yo, you did it? No, so no, I didn't, I didn't do the whole, I went trick-or-treating like maybe like twice. Yeah. And I didn't even dress up. I didn't even dress up.
I've never been trick-or-treating.
I was sneak trick-or-treating.
I've never been trick-or-treating. No, actually I did when I was in college.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think once you get a little bit...
When I was like 19, I was
trick-or-treating. He was so happy. Look at how big his smile was. He was like, man, this was the time of my life. I've been holding on to this energy for so long.
I'm an adult now. I can go trick-or-treating.
Yo, it's an adult. When trick-or-treating is more kid stuff. No, but yeah, so like I didn't grow up in a household like that, so to speak. Of course, they raised me well enough to
make good decisions,
implement and plant that seed in my life to where I knew not to get into certain things. You know what I mean? I had the fear of God. I still to this day do. Like whenever I'm moving, whenever I'm about to make a decision, like it's still in me, and I think that's important because if not, you literally, we have the power obviously to do whatever we want in life. Don't get me wrong. Like you were saying earlier, like, he's about to go rob a bank after this. So
hey, we don't,
so listen,
you snitch.
So listen, so like those little things obviously like is what I mean by you have the power to make whatever decision you want in life, but I also know there's consequences. You know what I mean? Like, is it something that is it going to eat up at me? Like if I make this decision or if I do this or if I don't do this. So I always have that in my heart where it's like, before I go and act on something or do something, usually I'm always like, okay, is this something that would please God? Is it not? Is it something I'm trying to self-fulfill, like just for myself? Like I want to do it because, we're naturally selfish. We have that in our, like we want things when we want them, but you also have that discipline you have to have with yourself. And I think all of that is predominantly because I was raised in church, Now I don't go walking around with a Bible, so to speak. Like, I don't have that, but do one of y'all do that? Did I say it and y'all do that?
No. Okay. I got the Bible verse on my phone. The Bible app.
Like that's cool, because it's not bad to have somebody that's really Christian. You're like obviously not, but sometimes there can be like a line of like, hey, can we just talk about whatever? Then you
just like not forcing it down the throat.
Yes, and that's exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up because I think people and society has that mindset that like, oh, you're Christian or, you have a relationship with God. It's like, man, she's going to talk about the Bible with me today, man. I don't want to meet up with her because
I'm trying to talk about food.
Yeah. Like, and it's not even like that. I think it comes more so like, even when I talk to people on a more intimate level, I'm not going to be like, you need to go to church. God's going to fix that. No. Like, we're human. We all make mistakes. We all have backgrounds and traumas that we're probably for the most part trying to deal with. So I'm not gonna say what I am going through is less than you or what you're going through is more than me. We're all just trying to get by, like we're all experiencing life and we all just kind of need support. And I think that's where it comes to. Like me personally, like I try to be very supportive with everybody I meet, especially when it's like that's all we really want is a listening ear for the most part. Some people don't even want advice. They're just like, man, I need to get this off my chest.
Wow.
I'm gonna let you do what you have to do. Go ahead and get it off. Now, some people want advice. Okay, like, and then I'll talk and I'll, and I won't always necessarily be like, well, if you had God, it would be so much easier. No. I'm not that type of person. I won't. But I will say in my personal life, God has made things a lot, not easier, but a lot easier to fall back on him. So where I'm not like searching for something else or searching for someone else to help me, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
So you're real like, that doesn't make sense. So you're saying that you're trying to like be more dependent on God and not dependent on other people.
Yeah, or other resources. Correct. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And that's, I think, my biggest thing, like as I've gotten older, is me putting that dependency on God, because I feel like, not to say I don't depend on like people or like my friends, we all have our people, you got your circle, and that's why I've always been really like heavy on keeping who like in your circle, like they got to be like good, for you, so to speak, because a lot of times it's like that, that saying, what is it, like who you hang with is who you are, something like that. Or show me your friends, I'll show you your future. That's very true. I've seen it when I've seen people move with who they're with, and I've seen how they adjust or how they cope with things within their future with their friends. I mean, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I got a lot of bad habits from Caleb. This
I could tell.
Totally ruined my life, actually.
Ruined it.
Yeah, I was.
I'm gonna
great,
need a little
and then
bit
I
more.
met him,
Yeah.
My life has just been in shambles ever since.
No, but you gotta say, like, when it comes to friendship, like,
nah,
he's like, no, you're out the window. He has nothing to say.
I let whoever thinks whatever. I just know I'm winning in life.
Don't let the opinion of others. Yeah, I like
exactly.
that. That's a big one. Look at that positivity.
Yeah, man.
Nah, this man, just being around Caleb. We always, like, I say inspire each other, but just being around Caleb too, like, he has always just helped me improve as a man,
correct,
as a person, and I think it's very, very important to surround yourself with
correct
people like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
And sometimes you do need friends to hold you accountable. I think people don't.
I think you do need friends to hold you accountable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's scratch out the sometimes, Mr. Illiterate over here on my right, your left, whatever. You do need friends to hold you accountable because, shoot, if you mess up, somebody got to tell you sometimes you messed up. Like that's on you. Like no, let's not sugarcoat nothing. You know. Now what you do after that is like how you're gonna proceed like in life. Because when you do mess up and someone you care about tells you, hey, like you messed up, like. Then
mind
you have
your
to
business.
No, not. That's a cat. No, you don't. You're probably like, dang. Yeah. I'm like, no. It's probably irking him.
Mind your dang business, bro. I'm like, dang, bro, that hurt. But you kept it 100.
Yeah, literally. No, but we do need those people to, push us to be the best versions of ourselves, so to speak. Wow. I think I could end it with that period right there.
That was amazing. I want to go back and touch on about like going out there and preaching the gospel. I was at church one time. The pastor said, your actions speak louder than words. A lot of times, the Christians being more silent if your actions speak louder than words because we think, we just got to shove it down the throat. Hey, man, you're going to go to hell.
Right,
but
right.
So, like, I used to work at Sam's Club, and there was this coworker I will always remember. She was like, excuse me, young man, are you a Christian? I was like, yes, ma'am. She was like, I could tell by your demeanor and action. You're the only one that says hi to me and smile. Really? No one else says hi to me.
That's crazy.
And I was like, dang, my actions really be touching people. Yeah. I just said hi. I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, I'll just say hi to her. Mm-hmm. But she's like, yeah, no one else says hi to me. And I was like, yo.
And I think, I'm glad you brought that up because I think a big thing is even so, I think in the society we live in, it's like, when you're having a bad day, we like to speak on why we're having a bad day. Like, dang, I have no gas. I need to go get gas. Or like my car broke down. We're so quick to say what bad necessarily or preach on like what bad thing. Like, I missed my bus, whatever the case is. Right. But when something good happens, we also don't always speak on that. Like, you know what I mean? Like and we should, because that automatically, like if I hear you just got a new car, for some reason, I might not know him on a personal level, but it's like, that's good for you, man. You clearly worked hard for this car, or you just bought a house, or you just got engaged. We should also applaud people for what they're doing, their right. successes. Now when somebody has a bad day, it's like, man, that was me last week. What? Like, you know what I mean? I went through it. You're gonna be fine. Like, it's like, okay, like you can say that, but
misery loves company.
Yeah, so it's like little things like that. But I think, even so, waking up every day in and of itself is a gift. Like, like we can automatically see those things that we're going through in the moment, and we can literally have that set the tone for every day, like from morning to night. Listen, I'm going through something, right. And it's like, you know what I mean? But the power is responding to it in still like an uplifting way, which sounds kind of like weird because it's like, man, you could have just lost somebody in your life and I gotta wake up and I gotta smile today. Like, who does that? You know what I mean? But it puts a lot in perspective when you at least try. Like, God sees the trying part, and I think that's important, is that like at least you're trying. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're at least trying, like he's still gonna bless you. You know what I mean? It might take time, whatever, but trying goes like a long way for sure. At least that's what I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bars.
A little moment of silence, as I mentioned prior.
No. I think just because you say like a lot of stuff,
yeah.
So it kind of
it's trying to you gotta let it marinate in you a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can all take a little moment of silence.
No.
In unison.
I was gonna say, like,
do you like silence? Can you do you meditate?
So I tried yoga I think earlier this year, and I laughed like in the first like minute because I tried, but I do like it. But when I'm in like a social setting, I just like to talk, like, you know what I mean, like naturally, like I like to conversate.
But like, do you like silence?
Like to just sit in silence?
Yeah.
When I really need it, yeah. I think I have to sometimes, like, when there's too much loudness, and not obviously like physical loudness, but when you're just naturally like in your head and there's just so much going on, I do need that quiet. But I think me per se, like even in quiet, I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like
I get it.
Yeah,
I understand.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's ever really, really quiet, it's because like I'm really like I'm in my head, but I'm always somehow like, when I need to get out of my head, or I just need a step back from people, I usually put some type of worship music on. And it doesn't even have to have words. Even if it's just like
instrumentals. The
instrumentals. Yeah. Like that is the most quiet, I guess you could say, that I've ever gotten. But every 4 years, yeah. So like since the past 4 years, what I do on my birthday is I wake up and I go to watch sunrise early on my birthday, and I go to somewhere with a scenery, usually by the water. I have a thing for water, but wake up, go watch sunrise, and it's kind of like my peace and quiet as I'm leaving like a year, like saying goodbye to a certain year and entering a new year. So I like to always go sit down by the water and just kind of like manifest what I would like to see in the new year, and also like think about what happened in the past year, you know, like if I have to change, or, you know, like stuff like that. Like I get in thought. But being by water specifically, oh my God, it just does something to me. Like when you have like the waves, like I love the sound of it, but when you actually have the waves and you see the immensity of the water, there's something so calming about that. It makes me like feel like anything that I'm currently going through or any problems I'm having, they're not as big as I'm making them out to be. So like I like starting my years like that, whatever birthday I'm at.
That's beautiful.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's peaceful to me. And I don't go with anybody. I'm actually very independent. Like I can go out by myself. Like a lot of people are like, you go out by yourself? And it's like, yeah, you don't. I'm like, you don't go out by yourself? Like that's a big stage. When you're able to do that, it's like you just feel different. Like, you know what I mean? Like to say like, yeah, I can go. Even so, just grocery shopping. Some people are like, I always need somebody to go to the store with.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no. Some people like, I just like to go grocery shopping. It's like,
I always do it myself.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, that. I mean, I gotta eat. No. But there's some people who actually like really cannot be alone. Which, you know what I mean? Like, or they always want company. And I feel like it's okay to want company, but I feel like you have to be your best company before you can have like people around. You know?
Right. So you gotta love yourself.
Yeah, that goes to self-love.
That goes to self-love.
Next topic.
no, that's a perfect bridge for relationships. Because a lot of people, they want to be in relationships, but they don't even love themselves.
Right. Right.
And they don't also heal from like, you know, because you were also talking about healing from childhood traumas. So what I want to ask you is that how important is it to love yourself before you get into a relationship, and how important is it to heal from your past traumas?
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as like healing, well, okay, we'll talk about the self-love part. So I think a lot of both females and males, I won't just say females, you know, I think both are sometimes in a stage where they look for so much in somebody to be something for them. So wow. It's like I might not have like a love for my parents, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna go out and like I'll meet a guy or I'll meet a girl, whatever, and they'll be like, I'm seeking that from them because they never received it in their house or whatever. And now you're putting an expectation on the other person to be what you want and what you need them to be for yourself. And that already is unfair in a relationship to begin with. Because it's like, one, everyone's gonna let somebody down. Like, you know, it's natural, we're human, we're gonna like let the person down. But now you're also placing expectations on them. And you're wanting them to be something for you that they may not even be for themselves. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like with that, if you don't go into a relationship and you actually like love yourself, how could you really properly love the other person? Like it just doesn't, I can never grasp that. Like I can never fix that because you don't even share that same love that you're desiring another person to give you. You know what I mean? And so if you're someone who is like, I get it. Like, not everybody, like life is going to hit you in a lot of directions, 100%, but you have to still fill up your cup. That's your job. It's not anybody else's job to come over here and like, you know, fill it up for you. Fill up my cup, please. It's really not anybody else's job, you know? And I think relationships do fail because of that. They constantly look at the other person. I had a guy in my life once who literally verbatim said to me, my cup is empty and you're not doing your job.
So what were you not doing?
Filling up his cup, his love cup, I guess. And I was like, it's like, let me rewind that and let us rewind that, you know, because you've already said enough clearly right now. But I want you to actually, like, I feel like at that moment, I'm like, I want you to hear the words, like really hear and sit in the words that you just told me. Like, I am not doing something for you. Okay. Now, for that cup to fill, it was never, in relationships, it's not the other person's job. If anything, it is my job to overfill it. Like, I want to constantly be giving it to you.
I'll serve another.
Right.
But at the same time, it shouldn't be placed on the other person, because
it's not.
Then when it's empty or whatever, it's like, you can't put that on the other person's still trying to fill up their cup. They probably got stuff, you know, they're dealing with, you know what I mean? The whole point of a companionship, at least in my life, how I see it, is I'm necessarily not going to be able to take everything off of my man's plate. Like, I can't make everything better for him, but I am supposed to be there while you're going through it. I should be the person that you lean on. Like, you know what I mean? I should be someone who you can come comfortably as you are and just support you. You know what I mean? Like, and I think with the whole filling up someone's cup, it's like
you're supposed to help him, but you're not supposed to be like the main source.
Yes, exactly. And people look at that when it comes to relationship as like, that's my main source. So then when they lose someone, it's like, I don't know what to do, because you've already attached your being with someone else. Like, you don't know how to be yourself anymore now. And that's kind of like, shouldn't be how it be. You know what I mean? You should come as and know your being and the other person, and then you guys just come together and, you know, be happy and whatever. But that's why self-love is like the most important thing, because it's like, you shouldn't necessarily always move around like, I need somebody in my life. It's great to have somebody. It's amazing, like, you know, when you have someone you can call for everything and anything. But man, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've said this so many times, the only man I've ever really needed in my life is God. Like, and that's, I don't say that in a cliche way, but he can only give me things that I know I want and need. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is the source, and he will provide for me what I need provided, like what I need, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, so a man can give me like love and everything, but
he said that. Who cares about that?
But it's not even disrespectful, because I also know in my heart of hearts that I know I'm not meant to be in this world alone. Like, there's a spouse for you, there's a spouse for you. Like, everyone, we're not meant to be alone. And so I know that's a promise God has. Like, but it's just, we always want to take over, and we want to control our placement. We want to control our moves. And sometimes we got to loosen those reins and know, like, you're not really in control of a lot. So, I mean, long story short, guys, love yourself. Love yourself. Yeah. Because then when, like, if a guy tells you you're beautiful, it's like, yeah, thank you. Like, you know, like, you could still like hear it, but it's also, you also know you feel beautiful. Like, you know that
you wake up and you feel beautiful.
Yeah. And it's just like, you know, it doesn't even have to be a physical beauty. Like, I mean, yeah, physical, like, a lot of people have that, you know, you have your insecurities. We all have them. But when you naturally, like, feel beautiful and you have that energy about yourself, it's crazy how, like, you know, you could be in a good mood and singing in your car, and how that uplifts you. And you automatically, and I was like, man, I feel good today. I look good too. Like, when it's a thing, when you feel good, you look good. That I really know.
Oh, yeah.
You feel good. You feel good. You look good.
Yeah,
you do good.
It's a thing, and you attract that. I've seen it time and time again. Like, it attracts to you. Like, it's like a magnet. It's like, man, whatever she got, whatever he got, I like that. I want to be around that more. And that's strong. Like, you know, and that's how you meet somebody. You know, all this. But yeah, be you. Don't be afraid to be different. You know, but always pour into you. Oh my gosh.
2 Chainz song. Anyways, go.
Yeah, I know it's 2 Chainz.
Yeah, I thought of another song too.
That's what you're thinking? Yeah, which one were you?
It was Logic and like Will Smith. They have a song called Be Different. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like I was thinking about the James Blunt one, the You're Beautiful. You know that one?
No.
Yes,
I'm not gonna come to my car shows. You know, I have some episodes of me singing in the car. I might sing that next time. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just, you know, it's hard to love yourself. It is, like, you know, but it's a constant work. Like, that's work you need to put in for sure, because it is gonna reap benefits when you do, you know.
Yeah, because you don't want to go into a relationship and come from that that mindset of, fill my cup. And I think that's something I had to learn, is I had to learn to not be selfish.
Okay.
Like, I've been with people before, and it's like, it didn't really hit me till like my last relationship, where I was like, yo, I'm really, really selfish. I need to change that.
What ways would you say you're selfish in?
Like,
give me an example.
I think there's a difference between knowing your role and asking somebody to do more than that they need to.
Okay.
So I think that I was asking this girl to do more than she needed to.
Okay.
And like, especially when I wasn't giving a certain part of me, like, I believe that there's roles in a relationship, and I wasn't leading like the way I should have been.
Okay.
And if I had focused on giving instead of getting, then the relationship would have worked out.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you can't go into a relationship being selfish. Like you were saying, you can't go into a relationship saying, you know what, here's my cup, I hope you're ready to fill it.
Right.
Like, no,
it's your job. Right. Yeah,
like, you guys already have a full cup, and just, filling into each other. Like, we're full and complete people.
Right.
And since we're already that, we can come together and just make our lives even better. Like, the relationship is just a cherry on top, but you still have the ice cream. Like, your lives are still the ice cream.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I think too, there's also seasons in life where you may be lacking that self-love, and you could be in a relationship and it's like, man, like, I haven't poured into myself as much as I would like. That's why I think it's really important to take some time to yourself, even when you're in a relationship. Now, that doesn't mean take a break. What I mean by that is go out by yourself. Have days where it's like, hey, listen, babe, I'm gonna just go, just gonna go to the bookstore and read and whatever. Like,
I'm gonna go to the club, babe.
I got some boys on my link of it. No. I mean, like, like, just take a step back so like you can fill that up, so that when you come then to meet with your person, so to speak, it's like, okay, like, I'm not putting that, because naturally when we're in a bad mood, or when our cups are low, we're irritated, we're agitated, like, things are probably gonna bother us a little bit more, because we're in a mood, you know what I mean? We're lacking something. So we're kind of just like moving like that with that lack. So in my head, it's like, take a you weekend, or go out by yourself, and like, go hang out with your girls if you want, go hang out with the boys, but take that time apart, because it really does become very redundant if the only person you're ever hanging out with is your significant other.
Perfect. Okay, so
he's like, yo, let me jump in.
Yeah.
He's gonna talk. He's got something to say. Go ahead, let it out, pour it out, do whatever you got.
All right, guys, I'm about to drop some heat.
Drop the beat.
Got my marshmallows ready, boy. Got my marshmallows.
Fill up this cup real fast.
But real talk, I see that a lot when people get in relationships. I know a lot of people get in a relationship, completely abandon their friends. But guess what? Guess who was there before you met that significant other?
King Caleb. King Caleb was there.
Ooh. King Caleb was there,
right
man.
Here. Pounding. Yeah. So like, at the end of the day, and when y'all break up, who you gonna go running back to? Your friend.
Yo, what's going on, man? What's up? What happened, bro?
You family. Yeah.
Exactly. So like, I love how you say take time for yourself, because like, and go hang out with your other friends too, because like, at the end of the day, like, if you're too much with certain people, like, you build friction. Like, you could have that honeymoon phase at first. Oh yeah, everything's going good and great. We're gonna hang out every single day, 24 hours. I have no other friends.
Oh my gosh.
And then you get with that person 24 hours, everything becomes redundant. They like become boring.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, it's the same thing, same routine again. Wake up, same certain things.
No, for real. Yeah.
You know what I was
like, just a word of advice, man. Don't be hanging out with your significant other. I personally will not hang out with my significant other like more than twice a week.
Okay.
If we're not married,
right.
I think that's like
Same
ridiculous.
Same here.
There's no reason why we need to be hanging out like 3 times a week, unless it's
now,
for like.
Let me ask you.
Something.
Like an event or something, like if they have.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
But like
special occasion.
For the most part, like twice a week No more.
Now you're telling me you feel that way even when you're in love. See that?
Yes.
Y'all didn't see, but he had a little smirk.
Like,
even when you're in love, you're like, I want to go see my baby.
Listen.
There's a difference between wanting to see them multiple times a week and actually doing that. That's not to say that I might feel like, oh man, I really want to see this girl, even though like, but I still know like there's no reason. If I hung out with her twice this week, there's no reason why I need to hang out with her 3 times because I already put that in. There's work to be done. There's always work to be done, and I need to have that balance where it's like, okay, I spent a good amount of time, and if the vibes are there, I can spend like half the day with them.
Right.
So it's like I can't be spending like
half of your days Monday through Friday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
we got things to do.
Listen, I want to revert to the statement though, because I know you said I spent time with her like 2 times already out of the week, so I did my part. Something like that you had mentioned.
I was saying like in the sense where
you said that to a female. That's not how you want to break it down to a girl, because we will take it personally. Like, oh, it's a checklist for you. Like, oh, you did this. I spent Monday and Tuesday, so I'm done. You never want to say that to a female. We will take it a type of way. Like, I might not.
He doesn't say it like as a list though. Like he knows he's like, hey, I got things to do. You know.
Right. No. And she should too. She should also have things to do where she needs to. People she needs to attend to, her family, whatever. And that's where like the whole responsibility comes in.
Any girl that's gonna be with me or that's with me, she knows I'm a busy man. I don't got time, like, especially on the mission I'm on. Like, oh, like you can date a bum. I'm not a bum. I'm like so busy. I'm trying to reach out to levels. Like I'm still gonna make time for you, but being with me, you are gonna know that I'm busy. So like, but I'll still make time for you. So like me hanging out with you like 24/7. That ain't gonna happen at all. And she knows that. Any girl, I'm going, hey, you know, I'm busy. You know, I'll make time for you, but
why not?
You know, find another guy.
That's how you hear the girls in her voice.
I'm sorry, I ain't the guy for you. Go find another guy.
No, but and I will say on top of that too, like when you do get around your person for so long, you get tired of them. Like, you know, respectfully, it's like,
exactly.
Oh my, go somewhere. You don't want to go outside for a little bit. Like, you know, it's just you've been around me too long. Like, you know, I know your every move. Like, it's kind of like, like go ahead and you know, go get some whatever. Respectfully, of course.
Yeah, respectfully.
Yeah.
I'm naturally introverted, so I'm always kind of reverting to alone time regardless. So like, I think space is great too. I think space is amazing. Like if we're hanging out. Let's say we hang out 2 days straight, and then let's say we don't hang out for another 2 weeks. When we come back together in 2 weeks, it's gonna be like, wow, like I haven't seen you in like so long or whatever. It's only been 2, but it just feels better when you take that space away from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking on that, distance creates
the heart grow fonder.
The heart grow fonder.
Right.
You know, when you haven't when I haven't seen in a minute, I'm like, bro, you know.
Yeah, right.
Y'all saw how he got happy about seeing his boy? Oh man, he goes, when I haven't seen you.
She's trying to put that to the girls out there that I'm a bad guy. I'm a great guy. I'll make time for my girls.
This is like too
I'll make time for my girls and my boys.
I don't know when.
Has it really been a minute?
I think the longest we ever spent not seeing each other is probably 2 weeks.
I think the longest time we haven't talked to each other is probably 2 weeks, but that was like years ago.
Oh, wow, okay.
We talked.
Or unless we're on vacation.
Now, do y'all call or just text each other?
We both.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we do both.
It's heavy bromance, yeah.
Oh my god.
Y'all about to hang out after this and everything? Like y'all going to dinner and stuff together?
No, we about to shoot another.
Yeah, we'll probably shoot another.
But yeah, love languages.
So let me look it up really quick because I know there's
5.
There's
physical touch, words of affirmation, quality
service, time, quality time,
and gifts. Yeah. Sorry, he really wanted to go through all 5, and I'm over. No, it's this one. But you got it. So kudos. Yeah, I'm proud.
I mean, I think all of them are like important.
Absolutely.
Honestly, if you use all of them, they're really good. Like,
oh, for sure,
of course.
But I'd say like my main 2 is quality time for sure. Like if I'm spending time with you, you mean something to me.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a 30-minute conversation or whatever. Like if like my time is so valuable that it's like, yo,
if you're giving it to you,
yeah, it's like it's something because I don't like gift my bros. I don't. Hey, bro, I got thinking about you. I was giving this to you.
I thought of you in the story.
I never gift my bros.
I don't do that. No, not
unless
even
it's like your birthday, maybe.
Yeah,
even if that's a
like,
maybe.
Even
too.
then,
so like y'all don't give Christmas gifts and stuff.
Heck no.
That's another conversation though. I was telling one of my friends.
I don't get a going away gift after the podcast. Like a thank you for y'all should do that.
I give you wine.
You should incorporate. Not even a full glass. Don't know.
You want a full glass?
That's
I'll give you a full glass.
That's an interesting
actually
concept that we might. We'll think about.
That, right?
We think about. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Make sure that subscribe me and that like give me kudos for like props like she gave us a good idea.
No.
Or I can just
do that.
I can be the added person. I could be in here like I said like I'll be the third.
No.
So you're saying you want to be a part.
Absolutely.
Guys,
I told y'all.
Vote. Should you be a part? Oh, dang, 100% no's. Anyways.
We should take this. We should take a poll actually after this one. See how people feel. Bring different. You guys have the masculinity. I'll bring the femininity.
That's actually.
That's what song.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Energy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a good idea, but we're gonna have to watch the full episode and edit and judge.
Yeah. Go ahead, and put it up. You could judge. I'll have all my people going vote now. Go vote. Just put yes. But yeah, so love languages.
So yeah, it's definitely quality time because there are people. I think there's some cool people out there that who ask me of my time, but they're just not
worthy.
I was just gonna say that.
I don't want to say that they're not important to me or they're not worthy, but
you're selective as to who you were into or whatever. Yeah, which is important.
Right.
That's a boundary, and that's everyone needs that.
It is, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I definitely say that, and then physical touch, some sort of like physical touch, even if I'm going like that, or whatever. It just means that I'm comfortable enough around you. Like,
correct.
If I don't even like you, I'm not gonna touch you. Like, stay away from me. You know?
Yeah. What about you?
First, I would have to say, words of affirmation. I love when someone's like, Caleb, you doing good.
You got a big
King Caleb
heart. It's really big.
I'll tell you when I go somewhere.
It's thank you. Huge.
Thank you.
Like,
it's out of this world.
Thick heart, bro. Like
I get it, bro.
10 inches.
Y'all stupid. This is why we need a female on the podcast, right? In this moment, right here.
I get it, bro. Thank you. But words of affirmation for sure. Especially when people are like, yo, I'm proud of you. Like when my parents tell me they're proud of me, I go even harder. I don't know who this man is. But I say words of affirmation. Quality time. I just don't spend time with anybody. I don't got time to spend time with everybody. So if I spend time with you, consider that a privilege.
Okay. That's good.
Because like
know your worth.
Yeah, you did that.
Know your worth.
Know your worth. Like,
yeah.
Obviously you were saying earlier, you are who you hang out with. Mm-hmm. So like I don't want you corrupting my mind.
Oh, that's big.
Especially if you're not going in a good path.
Beta simp.
Yeah, or
low life bum.
Or just
I heard recently
drugs.
Loser.
Yeah, no, I heard recently on a separate podcast that someone said distracted people distract people. And I'm like, that's...
Oh, you posted that on your story.
I posted that. Yeah. That was... I was like, that's big.
I like that guy.
Get him a Band-Aid. We need to call the ambulance.
Pastor Mike. That's his name. I like
No, it was good. Yeah, no, and it's true. That's why it is important
distract people.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's fire right there, for real.
That's your new bio. Right there on Instagram. Change the bio. Distracted people.
Don't DM me if you're going to distract me.
Literally. But no, okay, that's good. What about... Those are your top two.
It's top two, but I'll also add physical touch. But there's levels to this physical touch.
Not it's levels. We can't go into that conversation.
Okay, there's a lot of levels for a lot of stuff.
Into that. Yeah.
So like, if you just met, just don't stop touching me like that, bro. If you just met,
I don't like that either.
I gotta know you. Like I know him, right? So like, like he was saying like this.
So if Kim K came up to you,
bro,
why we gotta be Kim K?
Like,
I mean, she pretty.
Bro, okay, but
not the amazing. Yo, so Kim, like, if you're listening to this, come get your boy, please.
There's
my DMs are not open for you.
Are they even open?
Why wouldn't they be?
Okay, anyways. So like, obviously, there's levels because there's guys and girls. So like, when it comes to physical touch, so like.
Wow. Thanks for the clarification on that one.
But yeah, if I'm comfortable with you, I put my arm around you, I do this, stuff like that. So, when it comes to physical touch, but like straight off the bat, I just met you. Like,
now, question, because with physical touch, I always wonder about this. Did you guys grow up in a household where your parents like consistently gave you hugs, kisses?
I always kiss my mom. Good night. Okay. My dad, we mostly.
He kiss you?
Nah.
Yo, it's like it's the way he said it. Like, yo, your daddy kissed you?
Nah.
Your daddy kissed you?
I mean, if you do that to your son, that's cool, you know. But
no, see, like
I never kissed my dad.
Mine has never, and my friends make jokes about me all the time about this because I was never a big on physical touch.
And you're Hispanic?
Yeah, I mean, like we kiss on the like cheek, you know, like when we say hi to people and like when we say goodbye. But like, it wasn't like when I was younger. I don't at least remember like I was like so much like affectionate. That's why I'm not too affectionate now. Like I've gotten, I don't want to say over it, but I've gotten a lot more open to like hugging and stuff like that. But like all my close people always make fun of me because it's like when they try to hug me, I'm like kind of like stiff. I'm like, yo, like what are you doing?
Really?
It could be a little, yeah. I don't really
That's
always like. That's not, you're stupid. No, it's not. It's not. But this is only with people now. Like with like my boyfriend or something. Obviously, it's different.
Well, how would you meet your boyfriend though? You have to hug him first. Yeah,
but you know, you don't want to do those awkward like little side hugs that you did in like high school.
Wait,
like, give me like a genuine hug.
So on the first date, you're not gonna hug the dude? Is it gonna be?
Wait, do you kiss on the first date?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
Well, okay, wait. Is there a reason why you don't kiss on the first date?
Yeah, why would you give it that easy? You're gonna work for a kiss from me. That's
wow.
a given.
Wait.
That's a given.
Okay. So
like
you play hard to get.
Oh yeah. But it's like you gotta, you know. I won't say a lot because this is, you know, I can't give y'all all everything, but you have to drop. Listen,
what is that? I understand. I get it. You don't gotta explain it. I get it.
Men have their mentality of how you guys get a girl, like, you know, like not like that, but you know what I mean? How you.
I get it.
So I'm just saying, like, me personally, yeah, you're gonna have to put some work.
Wait, absolutely. So how long does a guy have to wait to even get a kiss?
I don't know. I don't have a date. Like, it's not like after 3 days you can kiss me. No, I don't have a date. I'm catching the vibe, seeing how it is. But like, yeah, I just recently went on a first date not so long ago and we hugged, but that was, you know, I mean, and we were talking for like 6 hours. Like we were out for like,
wow,
a good, yeah.
That's you know when it's legit. So
yeah, no.
Sorry, I'm not spending 6 hours on the first day. I don't care who you are.
No, I am. I mean, I'm not like, it was kind of like there was no pressure. Like if he wanted to leave, like it's like, okay, you know what I mean? But we were just genuinely like enjoying our time together. So I wasn't gonna be like, oh, I gotta go. No. Like we were out and we were just hanging out, you know.
Just
and it was
6 hours of.
I'm gonna let that one slide. No, because it's different when you're on a date.
He's having his head. Is he done talking?
No. When you're on a date, like I'm also gonna want to pick. I want to pick your brain naturally, but I'm also gonna let you pick my brain. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm also, if the first date I feel like sets the tone. If there is, first of all, gonna be other dates. Like, if I could talk to you about superficial things, that's the most easiest thing. What's your favorite color? What do you like to do?
Let's get into
that's it, superficial. I want to know real. Tell me something real. Like, what are you currently working at for your personal life? In your last relationship, if it failed, or it failed because you're on a date right now, but like, you know, if it didn't work out how you thought, do you have accountability? What's something that you know going forward? It's something you want to work on to better your next relationship. Like, let us get to know each other on that deeper level, because I feel like when you are going to be with someone long term, you are not always going to just talk about nothing. Like, you know, you don't want it to just be we're sitting down watching a TV show. Like, you want to be able to fully trust and confide in someone and be able to talk to any subject about, like, any. That's important. If not, if you can't do that with someone, in my head it's like, what are you in it for? You know what I mean? Why waste anybody's time? Why waste anybody's time if I can't have a solid conversation with you about something in my life? You know what I mean? Like something deep that I need obviously to get off my chest, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Because it's easy. You can meet people and have conversations in the supermarket with. Why are you gonna have a supermarket conversation with your special other?
Wow.
There's no.
Or your potential.
Right. Like, why? What's the point of that? I could just keep going to the supermarket and have conversations with someone. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I'm big on that, like just the talking part. Yes, I may talk a lot, you know, but it's not that. It's like when I meet new people, I do like talking, because it's like I want y'all to know the vibe, who I am. That's, you know, that's ultimately like I won't say my goal, but yeah, pretty much.
Dating. Oh, you had a question.
Dating, yeah.
We were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. I think it would be perfect to ask her that question about.
Yeah, and I have a question for you guys too, but you know, we'll leave that for later.
Of course you do.
So
always.
I know you said, you know, you you kind of went on a date or whatever, and you don't want supermarket conversations. So let's say, I don't know how long it's been for you or whatever, but this is a general thing for anybody, because we know that relationships are learned. Like, we learn from like TV or our parents, or like, okay, if our parents fight, we know subconsciously, where it's like, okay, if I'm with my significant other and we're fighting, that signifies, oh, we love each other on like a crazy subconscious level. So it's like, how do you know, like, how do you prepare for a relationship? Because if we just learned from TV and we just learned from our parents or other people, and we think, oh, it's normal to fight every day, it's normal to throw dishes and throw plates, and
that's the idea, which I'm glad you brought that up, because that's kind of like how you are portraying love as you grow older. So that's what you'll seek. So let's say you grew up,
which goes back to childhood trauma, which we were
talking about too. Yeah. So like if you grow up in a environment, like a household where, you know, your parents have constantly fought, or like you said, you know, you see them throwing stuff, or maybe like you don't even see your dad that often, he's working a lot, or whatever the case may be, like as you grow up and you've seen that, that's the image, and that's the definition you're applying to with when it comes to love. So when you grow up, I feel like that's the type of love you seek. So to you, that is what is love. That's defined love because of what you saw. But there's healthy love, and you need to, at some point in your life, I think, distinguish what healthy love looks like. You know what I mean? Like, you can obviously, as a couple, I think, you're going to have arguments. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to have disagreements more than anything. Now, that does not mean that I'm going to be bashful to my husband, or I'm going to speak down on him, or like, you know what I mean? Like, call him trash. Why? Like, that doesn't help him as a man. And two, especially when you have kids in the mix, I feel like you have to be an example to them, because you wouldn't want them to seek that love when they got older. Who you need to, but if you are to a point where you actually need to seek some help,
seek help.
Yeah, there's no shame in it. I really was like, you shouldn't care about what people, their opinions that they place on you. Absolutely not, because you're doing what's best for you. And I think that's automatically it. Like, you don't have to worry about someone else. Like, oh wow, you go, that's weird. Like, you actually talk to someone. Yeah. And be proud about it. Yeah, like, be proud about it. Like, absolutely. Because I'm actually trying to better myself. And I'm not trying to say you should, but, you know, for like honestly,
well, honestly,
go ahead.
If you were bettering yourself, you wouldn't have time to worry about my business.
I know that's right. Yeah.
Because when I'm betting myself, I don't got time to worry about what you doing, what he or she doing.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like, you know, sometimes the church, you know, the Bible isn't specific about certain things. If you're like, hey, me and my wife, we haven't touched each other in a year. Right. You know, I'm horny. What's going on?
What can we do? Right.
You're like, well, pray about it. Man, I've been praying for like the last year. Like, what's going on? Like,
that's when you got to go to a marriage counselor.
Yeah, right. No, absolutely.
Well, pray about it. I'm like, bro, I've been praying.
But no, and I do, but he's stupid. No, but it's true, because I have had pastors that I hear them preach, and they themselves say they go to therapy, and it's like, oh, like pastors themselves. So I do believe that, like, you're not going to look down upon, like, you know, God doesn't see you as anything less if you do need to seek help, because at the end of the day, like, he wants you to also be able to talk about things. Like, he wants you to free your mind, like, you know what I mean? Like, get out of that, because like being in your head can be both good and bad. Like, sometimes we got to be in our head, we're thinking about, like, you know, our future plans or whatever the case is. But when you're stuck in your plan, especially when you're going through it, like, if you're really stuck in your head, that can be a very dangerous place to be. Very dangerous. And if you don't have that balance of, okay, no, I need to get out of this, I need something healthy, like, that's where, you know, that's where now is dangerous.
That's where that's why a lot of crimes, mass shootings happen, because stuck in their head, got no one to talk to, and they end up committing all these wild crimes. But I want to bring this up because, like, well, the Bible doesn't really talk about it, but Proverbs is like one of my favorite chapters. I mean, books in the Bible. And Proverbs, there's so many verses that talk about seek wisdom and counsel.
Yes.
And I feel like that goes within therapy or seeking counselors. Seek wisdom and counsel. And there's one verse I really love, which is like, sometimes a brother is better than a family, like a true brother. I mean, a friend is better than a brother. You know, so like seeking counsel and seeking wisdom. I mean, the Bible doesn't go deep into it, but I put that within therapy and seeking counsel and wisdom, because he's always talking about seek counsel, seek advisors. A man who listens to wisdom is a man that would prosper and stuff like that.
And it's crazy too, because if you think about it, like if there is Christians who are like, oh no, like you go to therapy, like that's, you know, if they, first of all, they're judging you now if you go to, if you're going to some place that
sounds about right.
Yeah,
sounds about
if they're
right.
not really, yeah. But at the same time, if you think about it, therapists are not necessarily there and they're gonna tell you to do bad things. Like they're not gonna sit down, oh wow, you're going through it, I think you should go do this. No. If anything, like therapists, their placement or counselors, what they really do for you is they give you that platform to get off your chest what you need to get off, and then they help you by asking you these questions so you can yourself seek an answer to what you're going through.
Sheesh.
So you're really like just being placed somewhere to talk, and then a counselor is just, in my head, like, you know, I haven't been to one, but how they're operating is more so how can they help you to find those own answers for yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And in the midst of it, even if you are a Christian going to counseling, like I said, it doesn't make you weaker or less than. If anything, you're still keeping God at the center too at the same time. That's just the most important thing as well. You know what I mean? So by all means, like if you need to talk, like talk. People don't do it enough in my opinion, you know?
Yeah. Especially like, you know, whether, especially if you don't have friends, you don't have people, like you're saying, like you definitely need to talk to somebody. Because like we said before, like a significant other can't be everything. And there's some things you can't, I believe there's just some things, not necessarily that you can't tell them, but that you'll just relate to with other people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know? Or maybe you're not ready to tell them about your crazy childhood trauma, but you want to deal with it.
Correct.
At the beginning of the relationship, and you don't want it to come back later down the road. It's like, you know, I want to go to therapy before we get, you know, even more serious.
It's true, and that's good. That's healthy.
That's why a lot of relationships don't last, or marriages, because they didn't seek the help they needed before. So they're carrying that baggage and putting it on you. But you know, it's also selfish to put it on someone else when they didn't deserve to carry that baggage.
Correct.
At the end of the day, you got to deal with whatever, I guess you can say, inner demons or past trauma with yourself before you put it on someone, because it's not fair to them. You know, so like that's why you should seek help first before, because that can also, you know, it's also generational trauma. You know, you treat someone bad, like you were saying earlier, you treat your wife bad or whatever, you start yelling, your son sees that, he does that, pass on and on. You want to be the person that stops it before it carries on to other people, because like at the end of the day, like the future is big, so like even though you die, it can carry on to generations and generations.
And I read something actually just today that talked about like how you know, when people say like, oh, that's just my family, like when someone says something, oh, that's my family, that's just my family, it's like you should be the one to be like, to break it, but it stops here,
to break the curse.
Like I'm stopping it here, like it's not going to continue. Like, and once you get to that point in your life where it's like, I'm not going to continuously allow this anymore for my kids to come, and you actually start to shift and change certain things in your life, you're already setting a good tone for the next generations to come.
Wow.
So yeah,
this stops here. Like, no, we ain't doing like,
we're not, we're not allowing it anymore, like, you know, and you change how you need to.
Wow, that's facts.
Yeah, talk.
Right. Transition. Oh, wait, what do you have to say?
I was gonna say, you know, if you're a serial killer, you know, get the help that you need, man, so you can have a healthy relationship with your significant other.
I'm pretty sure you should go to jail.
Dahmer wasn't like married or anything, right? No.
I know Ted Bundy had a girl.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he had a girlfriend.
Bundy.
While he was doing all that.
Yeah.
So, do you really know people? Now that's our next question. Do you ever really know somebody?
Well,
that's a big question to unload. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. What should you do? What are the things you should do before you seriously date to know someone?
Oh, like, okay.
A question you should ask?
Yeah, like a question you should ask, and like, how should you prepare yourself before you get into a serious relationship? Because, you know, a lot of people, they don't have to be alone. They always got to have someone on their side.
Yeah.
Right. So what should you work on? What are the questions you should ask before you get into a serious dating relationship? Like, what are the questions you should ask for yourself, and what are the questions you should ask your significant other?
Yeah.
That you believe. So
I think for myself, I always ask, like, going into, like, if I'm seeking for a which I try not to seek one, but like, you know, if it's just like, you know, you're in that point where it's like, oh, like I've been single for a while or whatever, I'm looking, or I'm just dating now. I like to ask myself, I'm doing it for the right reasons always, not because anything in my life is lacking. You don't want to find a significant other because you find that I'm lacking in that, especially like comparison ties into this because so many of us look, oh my God, my best friend's getting engaged. They got married. They have kids.
Or
they're my age.
On
they're
Instagram,
my age.
You see all the celebrities.
I feel so left behind. Like, they're doing all these couple things and like I go, but I'm like the third wheel, the fourth wheel, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And if you constantly look at that, the reason now you're seeking someone or like wanting to be in a relationship is now going to be more so because you don't want to be like left behind or something. And I think I always revert to, even when I talk to people, like, you are on your own path and timeline. Like, you're not on someone else's. Like, if it's gonna work out when it has to, like, it really is gonna work out when it has to. There's no thing just because someone else is a little bit ahead of you, like, you should feel left behind. Their lane is gonna look different than yours. What happened?
Is a marathon not a race, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, so it's like you should never look at that. So when I'm like dating or anything, I usually don't. I know my purpose for it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, let me just see, like, what's out there or whatever, so to speak. But I also have learned from past relationships on who I want to be in the next relationship. So I always take, even if I got hurt in a past relationship or something happened, I try to, you go through your hurt. You got to have your days, whatever, like you're grieving. It's a form of grief.
Screw these women.
No, not. So it's like,
I hate women.
Yeah. They're all the same. No. It's like, it's not that. It's more so then you want to evaluate how you can be better for the next. So take every failed relationship. You should take something from it so that you grow in the next. And vice versa. Keep going. Now, I'm not saying you should go through 10 different relationships. At some point, you're like, oh, it might be like, you should, something's up with that. It's you.
I gotta slow down.
But the whole point is you always want to be better for the next, so to speak. You know what I mean? So those little things that you might not have realized when you were in a relationship, look at them moving forward for your next. Like, okay, maybe I wasn't too open about this, or maybe I didn't, not a 10, but like I wasn't so respectful on this. I could have spoke more wisdom. I could have spoke more life to them, or, instead of doing this, So I always like to take what happened and not move it in like I'm never going to find a guy who's like this or he's going to do the same thing to me, but more so what can you do differently? Because at the end of the day, you can only change your actions. You can't change someone else's actions.
Amen.
And if a man or a woman wants to cheat going into that like relationship, or if they want to not take you serious or whatever, they're going to do that whether you take them serious or not. You know what I mean? Like, that's already in their head. Like, they're already going to be not thinking about that, but it'll, you know what I mean? And so I think personally, like, when I start to ask questions, like when I do meet a guy, there's always like the select few. One, I always see if they can hold a conversation with me. Like, that's important.
Yeah, of course. Sure. Yeah.
That sounds really nice. Whatever you want. Like, like, it's like, have a conversation with me, you know what I mean? Because if I put you with, first of all, my family, like, my family's going to talk to. And if you're just standing there, it's kind of like, who you brought home? Like, you know what I mean? They were like, that's, So you have to have a conversation. But at the same time, I really do look at your values as a man. Like, I think a man should have certain values. Like, one, a protector is huge for me. Like, I want to be with a man who's going to protect me. So
he's got to know, like, kung fu.
No. Not like necessarily like, not that, like that type of protection. Yes. Because, if we're in harm's way, like I would want to know, like,
take her.
Don't throw me or something. Like, that is one. But I also mean protector in the sense, like, someone who like is really has their best interest at heart for me. You know what I mean? They want to protect me. Like, they want me to feel safe. That's big for me. Like, I want to be able to feel safe.
So a leader, safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
A leader, safe. I do also look at his friends, like who he hangs with. Because
we talk about that all the time.
Yeah. And I think it's important. So, like, I always tell ladies, like, look at who they're surrounded by. Wow. Because when you're not in the room, he's also setting a tone for your relationship when you're not there. And that's important. So, like, if you leave a room and he completely is like a whole nother person, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like, he should still have that same respect for you when you're not in a room. And you know what I mean, speaking positive things. Just when you're around people and you have like your significant other, I'm not gonna say, oh my god, you're great, but then you leave and I tell my girls, he doesn't do anything at the house. No, that's not right. Like, you know what I mean? That's now you're just being fake, so to speak. You know what I mean? So with men, I want to see that, like, even when I'm not present, like, he still carries himself, that if he did something or an action was taken or whatever, he's gonna be able to be strong-willed and strong-headed to make a right decision that he knows one way or the other it would affect our relationship.
Wow, that was some fire. Thank you.
Yeah, it was really good.
Because me and him, we go through what they call a vetting process.
Okay.
Which we take very seriously before any girls that we're gonna take seriously.
What's the vetting process?
So, like, you know, he comes to me for advice. He's like, man, what do you think?
You. Oh, correction.
Who?
Who, me?
You say I come to you for advice?
We come to each other for advice.
Is that correction? He said not.
That's what I meant.
That's what I meant. You said.
We come to each other for advice,
more
but
like accountability. You know, I don't say I come there for advice. You know what I'm saying?
I think
we're not there yet.
Accountability, advice, whatever. But so, like, you know, we look at the family.
Okay,
how's our family structure?
It's very important to have a good family.
That is true. Absolutely.
Is she loved properly? Does she love her family?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's good. Can I bother you? Okay, I just want to add one thing. When it comes to seeking a man, or like, you know, seeking a man, I think it's important for a female to always look at how a man treats his mother. Big on me. How he treats his mother is how he's gonna treat you. There's no questions asked about that. If he can still open the door for his mom, if he helps her, if he serves a plate for her, like, you know, that's important, because that's the first lady in his life. That is literally and that should be his first love. So that's gonna be a good example to see what, like, your future would hold.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, go ahead.
You good. We also look at her values, her core values. Does she believe in God? Is she a woman of integrity? Can I trust you?
Right. Her friends too.
Her friends. We take that seriously too, because, like, if her friends are out here doing certain illicit things,
activities,
or, you know, illicit drugs that she doesn't need to be taking. She's out, like, getting drunk all the time. She's not taking care of her finance. She's not taking care of her physical or her mental and her spiritual. Then that's where her friends are encouraging.
But I like how you guys think. But why is it that sometimes, you know, I know you can't speak for all men, but why is it that is something that attracts men when they're like, damn, she's bad. She's bad. Like, not in a physical, but like in a way that it's like they kind of just want a quick, like, pick me up, so to speak. Like, you know, like hookups. Like, when we're talking, like, as far as hookups, that doesn't ever, for a man, it doesn't from...
Of course not, because it's a hookup. We're not thinking long term. It's just like it's a good time, and then we just keep moving.
So men and women are different.
At what point is it where a man, like, realizes, yeah, like, I don't want to do, like, just the hookups anymore. Like, I'm ready for something.
It's different for every man.
So that's why.
So, like, there's two categories that most men put a woman.
Yep.
There's yes.
Or a princess, something. Yeah.
There's the wifey category.
Yep. And you adopt.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And when guys put girls in the wifey category, right? They're like, she's for most part feminine, you know, beautiful, obviously, good characteristics,
has certain qualities you're looking for.
Certain qualities. They're like, okay, I want to take this girl seriously. And then for the other side, she's like, oh, especially if she has red flags, and the guy's head is like, all right, we're just hooking up. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how guys process it.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's literally two categories. There's the wifey category, and like you said, there's a tottery category.
Right. Yeah. Now you always have F boys. They just gonna try to get every girl. And
right, exactly.
Absolutely.
But for the most part, I'd say that it's the way that a girl presents herself. I was gonna add Instagram, like what her Instagram's like, because if she
like what kind of pictures she's posting.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's big.
If she just posting all bikini pictures, I'd be like, nah, bro, she not wifey, bro. Like, nah, you crazy.
Like,
and that goes into too, like, I always, when I do come across, like, females who I see who post a lot, like, you know, and some are, like, you know, even people, like, that I'm close with and stuff, but, like, I'm always like, don't show a man everything. Like, let him, I don't want to say let him wonder, but for real, like, you know, a man should, like, be like, oh wow, like, she's like, you know, there's something about her. Like when you show everything, you're not leaving anything for an interest in a man's mind. Yeah. And you want to provoke this more than you want to provoke the other thing down there. No, I'm serious.
What other thing? I'm confused.
I'm serious. Most men would rather date a girl that's not famous, that's not out there. They rather date a low key. Like there was this girl I dated, and
dang, what's her name? What's her name?
Wait, give me a hint.
Oh, y'all got the insider stuff. You're gonna have to tell me this after this.
4-hour long service.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
that's funny.
You took her to church for a 4-hour long service.
No, just continue.
You're not friends with her no more. Or are you friends with her?
Nah.
Okay.
Okay, but every time we get into an argument, right? Go blast our business on social media. No, that's a red flag too.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's
either.
Don't go blasting our business.
Bro.
And her friends will be like, "Okay, what you do,
yeah,
bro? Why you go blasting?"
That's crazy. I forgot about that, bro.
Do you remember that? I told you that.
I think that's. I'm glad you brought that up though, because that's another thing too. Is like, when you're having like an argument or a disagreement with your significant other, it really is just between you two. It's a circle. It's a circle. You're not supposed to be bringing other people in your circle. So if you promote or if you post stuff or whatever, one, you're obviously letting other people in, but you're also letting their opinions in too. And at the end of the day, if it's me and you, it's only me and you. I don't care about X, Y, and Z. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It should really be something that you guys work on together, because it's like, it's not you and the other person versus each other, like you and your significant other. It should always be you two versus the problem. Like, you know, you guys are going to face whatever it is. How can we, like, in a healing way, how can we go at this? Like, so that we're not, you know? And if you promote it, one is, like you said, I think it is petty. If you're like, men aren't whatever, and everybody knows, yo, she's dating so-and-so, like, and now she's so clearly something happened.
Exactly.
You're like, you're not handling it how it needs to, and you're not handling it in a grown matter. Right. That's how I say it. You know what I mean? Grown people aren't just gonna go post stuff. Granted, they do on Facebook all the time, but like, you shouldn't do that. You know, you go and fix the problem, because it's not everyone's business. Exactly. Literally, it really is not anyone else's business but you and your spouse or partner or whatever.
Yeah, wow. I'm big on like keeping my stuff private. Like,
for sure.
People knowing we could be together for 5 years. I still don't want certain people on Facebook to know.
Yeah.
Like, I was telling Kayla about this earlier. I was like, yo, I literally don't even care if my ex is like, I don't have to flex and be like, hey, I'm in a new relationship. I'm like, no, it's so private. Like,
you keep it to yourself, which is good. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Thanks. So she did a number on you. She heard you.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well. I'll say this. I believe that with you being hurt or pain, you can either grow with that pain, through that pain, or you could stay in that pain forever. Because I wouldn't be the man I am today if I didn't go through certain pain or hurt.
Yeah.
Because like, I was like, all right, you know, I can keep crying. Well, I didn't cry. But I didn't cry.
It's healthy.
But I didn't. I was just sad. But I was like, I can keep being sad forever, or I can get my life together and stuff. Because like, I believe as human beings, we have to go to certain things to become a better version 100%. Of ourselves.
Yeah.
He said I could be sad forever, or I can. He said, get my life together. I was like, ooh.
I think that's like going back to like the whole, like that saying about, you know, allowing the past make you better, not bitter. You know, so you definitely want to do that. Like, a lot of stuff in life, don't get me wrong, is unfair. Like, certain people should not go through what they go through. And I have a big compassion and like sympathy and empathy for people who go through things at certain ages that you shouldn't, like, I can't even wrap my head around the things some people go through. Like,
some people grow up before their age.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be the case at all. But I definitely feel like if you look at it in a perspective, which it takes time, of course, but you allow those things to change you for the good. Wow, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, and it's a lot easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. You know, like, I don't know what a lot of people go through, but that is a point in your life when you realize, like, you know, despite this, I became this.
Wow.
Like, you know, like, look at it like that, you know, in a positive, obviously, in a healthy way.
So I want to touch back onto the personal growth, because, you know, we're talking about faith in God. So how important, this is probably going to be the last things, how important is working on your faith, your mental, your spiritual, and your physical? Do you believe in working in all these areas? I always be in financial too. I always work in all those areas.
Yeah, that's it. Those are all of them intertwined to become one, if that makes sense. So you need a little bit of everything, you know. Okay. So definitely, going through certain things in life, obviously, like you have your moments, you know. But God showed up in every one of those moments. Even when I don't feel it or see it, He's still there. Like I have never felt like alone, nothing like that, because He's always been consistent, like, you know, always present, and He always puts people in the direction when you least like expect it to be there. Like within the past, like just this year, I want to say, yeah, I felt myself like a growth in me, like spiritually, but it's like I want everyone to feel this. I wish I could give it to everybody, because it's like life is just so much better with God. It really is. It's not that you are granted to have like the best life, or like things don't like happen to you if you go to church or if you have a relationship with God. It's actually the complete opposite. Life is just as hard if you have God, believe
or even
me.
harder.
Yeah, or harder probably, because like you know right from wrong a little bit better. But I mean, like when you really do have God, it's like knowing that even when you fall, like you're gonna get back up. Like, you know what I mean? Like even in the midst of all that, like, yeah, no, God's gonna turn it around. And when you hold firm in that, and you hold firm in that faith, there's really nothing in this world you can't do, because like you walk a little bit lighter on your toes. You learn to take out those things from your backpack that you don't need to carry, because a lot of the times we put things on us that we aren't meant to carry. Absolutely not. So when you're able to look and find that source, you know, and say, God, listen, I'm gonna need you to take over. I'm gonna take my hand off of something. When you do that, like, it's just, you just feel like, you know, almost like you could fly, which sounds really corny and cheesy, but you know, and that really, I can describe it all day, but it's something you just have to feel for yourself. Like you have to feel that. So, you know, like praying is huge, like, you know, because it's not just going to church. You have to pray. You have to read the word, you know. I always like to start my day listening to worship music, because it really sets a tone for my day. So like I'll put on Bethel, or I'll put on Hillsong. Like, I'll put some type of worship music, or even a worship podcast. I'll listen to that, and that's my drive to work every day, because that really sets the tone in my energy and my attitude.
Wow.
For whatever is to come, you know. And then if you need to cry, like I just did, cry. Crying is really good. I used to be younger and be like, ew, why do people cry? Like, that's so, like, you know what I mean? If you're at church, or even if you're not at church, you need a good cry. You need to get all that out. Like, you know,
unless you're a man.
You're stupid. No, like you do. It's something refreshing about being able to take that out. You know, I read somewhere once, like, you know, like, it's really cheesy, so bear with me, but they said that sometimes you have to cry out a room full of tears to make a room for smiles. So it's kind of like,
I never heard about that.
It's like, you know, if you got to get it out, you know. But in the midst of it, you find a joy. Like, even when things don't go your way in life, I think God seeks that, you know, gives you that joy, you know.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm thinking about something.
Yeah, I'm like, why is he smiling?
Sarah,
if you're a guy and you're crying, just take a knife and pull down your pants.
You're deep, no.
And
what?
I don't know where you're going with this. I don't know where you're going with this.
But real talk, Sarah, I want to thank you for being honest and vulnerable.
Yeah, for sure.
But real talk, I haven't known you that much, but I'm glad I got to know you a little bit more, especially now. And I've had you on social media for a while now, and to be honest, I've seen your growth on social media. I may not have said it, but I've seen your growth, because, you know. And the reason I wanted to get you on, I'm finally answering your question.
Yeah, that's because that was my question.
Because I was like, this girl, I don't know. No, it's gonna sound corny, but I could sense your positivity online. I mean, I see it, and I could sense like you're a radiant person. Because when I first met you too, like at Sam's Club, I was like, all right, this girl got some dope things to say.
Yeah.
And she's positive, you know, and I'm always like to surround myself with a positive person. I was like, why not share to the world your positiveness and, you know, the good things that you had to say. And with that being said, because you regarding personal growth, and I know you read books, can you suggest at least one book to the audience so they can read?
That's not the Bible.
That's not the Bible. Yes. Yeah. And one final message that you would like to tell the audience, like one final words of positivity or anything you would like to tell the audience.
For sure. As far as books, two of them that I've always loved that really, which I think over time I'll probably just continuously like reread them, because in different seasons of your life, things are always going to change, you know? So the 5 Love Language book is really great. It really teaches you more about yourself, but also more about how to love others who may not be the same love language as you. So like you learn to love yourself, but let's say I meet somebody who is the complete opposite of me. I want to better learn how to love them properly. So that kind of teaches you a little bit more on that. And also the 4 Agreements is a great book.
Wow.
That one is one of my, yeah.
No, I was just looking into that.
That's a great one. I really do. And they're quick reads, but it kind of just helps you more like with just, you know, navigating through life in general. Yeah. But now as far as like a message to say to like people, ooh, that's a good one. I always ask people this. And I never thought about what I would say to people. Always put one foot in front of the other. I know it's harder to say that, but you get up every day, so you're already pushing through more than what you think. Give yourself credit for that. Yeah. And, you know, surround yourself by people who have the absolute best intentions for you. If you need to cut people off or separate yourself from probably energy or people that aren't pouring into you positivity, do that for yourself. Like, you know, we're in a day and age where we are seeking a lot more of taking care of our own beings. And if that looks like eliminating some people or just respectfully saying we're on different paths, you know, like, do that for you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, you know, we were brought into this world alone. You know, we'll leave alone too. And that doesn't mean like you don't have people, because it's important to have people. But definitely, like, sometimes you have to do what's best for yourself. And that's not selfish at all. Like, do what you have to do for you.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Sarah.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Nation, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to say thank you for coming on. You've been pretty awesome. You
Appreciate
have
it.
a lot of wisdom, like you were saying. You got really good energy, and you know, maybe we'll see you on again.
It's the maybe. We're taking a vote on this one. I'll be back. No tears the second time, but I'll be back. Yeah, we'll see. We'll be back.
And with that being said, we would like to tell you guys to keep winning in life.
Okay.
And see you guys in the next episode.